Concept cars. In theory, they are vehicles that represent a company's future direction and vision. In reality though, most are just fancy showpieces that don't even start. Some don't even have engines. But in 2008 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, Mazda introduced a concept car to the world that actually had an engine. And what an engine it was! Between 2006 and 2007, Mazda introduced its Nagare design language. Franz von Holzhausen, Mazda's North American Operations Director of Design, and Lorenz van den Akker, Mazda's global head of design, led the project of designing the Nagare concept series. The first model in the Nagare line was a concept car bearing the same name. Nagare means flow and movement in nature, and this sense of flow became the philosophy of the entire Nagare lineup. The first concept was a luxury coupe with a long wheelbase that positioned the driver at the center. Even in the interior design, the highest point of the roof was directly above the driver's head, with 3 seats arranged behind a single driver's seat. The Ryuga was the second concept that essentially represented the next generation of RX-8, being a shorter and lower 4-seater coupe with gallowing doors. The Mazda Hakaze was an all-wheel drive 2-door crossover that attempted to combine the appearance of a coupe with the functionality of a SUV and the dynamic capabilities of a roadster. This concept featured scissor doors and partially removable roof. According to Mazda, this car was more production-ready than the Ryuga and Nagare. The Mazda Taiki was an unconventional coupe with butterfly doors and an exceptionally low drag coefficient of 0.25. Even the wheels and tires were designed following aerodynamics principles. The name Taiki is intended to complement the car's atmospheric canopy surrounding the driver and passenger. The Kazamai was Mazda's sixth concept, a fuel-efficient compact crossover designed for targeting Russian buyers. Its body lines mimicked crossfins in nature, creating an illusion of lightness and motion. The Mazda Kiyora was the final model in the Nagare design line. This small urban compact car had a water theme. There was even a filter installed in the car's roof to convert rain into drinkable water while driving. The roof and 2 side doors were made with transparent material, so you could see the frame structure from the outside. It was designed not only to look like a water stream, but also to increase safety while decreasing weight. If the Kiyora had made it to production line with its fuel efficiency of 75 miles per gallon, it would have become one of the most fuel-efficient production cars in the world. Even its touchscreen mimicked water ripples when you tapped it. But the star of the Nagare lineup was the fifth concept car, the one that became the most popular. The seamless, enveloping design of the headlights, the smooth body lines, sharp nose, all in perfect harmony, matching the car's name, Furai. And we are not talking about a gentle morning breeze. More like a violent storm, if you ask me. This concept car was designed to honor Mazda's racing history and pay tribute to rotary engines. The number 55 on the car and its color scheme refers to the legendary 787B model that won the 1991 24 Hours of Le Mans, bringing glory not just to Mazda but to the entire Japanese automotive history. The orange color on the body also refers to the car's ethanol fuel. The body lines are fluid and organic, as if the wind itself had sculpted this car. The Furai featured the first rotary engine to run on 100% ethanol, and the BP logo on its body was representing the fuel supplier British Petroleum. The overall appearance of the car, especially with its crazy rear light design, resembles a kite dancing in the wind. Despite having butterfly doors, at just 997 mm tall, with a cockpit tighter than a jet fighter, it took a solid minute to climb inside. The interior was simply designed but continued the fiery orange theme with numerous graphical references to the rotary engine, giving the Furai a special charm. Despite the tight space between seats and nearly horizontal windshield, contrary to expectations, the cabin had surprisingly good lighting. For designing the Furai, Mazda's American studio collaborated with the American company Swift Engineering, which previously specialized in building race cars including Formula Ford vehicles, and had since extended into designing helicopters and submarines. The CEO and chairman of Swift Engineering, Mr. Hiro Matsushita, was not only a race car driver but also the grandson of Panasonic's founder Konosuke Matsushita. In designing the Furai's slippery body, they used CFD technology, which was extremely advanced for the time. Computational fluid dynamics, or CFD, is a versatile tool used in various industries and applications. It is primarily used for analyzing and simulating fluid behavior, including gases and liquids. The car was designed to appear as if it was in motion even when it was stationary. All these weren't even the most interesting part of the story. The real drama began the moment the Furai's rotary engine started up. This wasn't some pampered show queen destined for museum dust. The Furai was born to burn rubber on blistering tarmac. The Furai, which was meant to celebrate Mazda's racing achievements, could not have been imagined with anything other than a rotary engine. Inspired by the legendary fire-spitting 4-rotor 787B, Mazda collaborated with Racing Beat, a company with extensive experience working on rotary engines and converting them into racing versions, to install a mid-mounted R20B 2-liter 3-rotor 450 horsepower engine in the Furai. This engine was optimized to run on highly flammable and much more potent ethanol fuel. Racing Beat also gifted the Furai with a custom-made hand-fabricated rotary-shaped muffler canister as a chef's kiss. The standard 20B was first utilized in 1987, but it was developed to be used in Mazda 767 Le Mans Racer, and it also found a home in the Cosmo Coupe road car. The 20B ended up having a short shelf life, with the Cosmo being the only vehicle it was utilized in. But the Furai's R20B engine was based on the 3-rotor 20B that existed in the Uno's Cosmo, the only 3-rotor production car. You might think 450 horsepower isn't that legendary, but let me remind you of something important called weight. Mazda used the Courage C65 racing chassis for building this car, an LMP2 prototype that Mazda had competed with in American Le Mans series during 2005 and 2006 seasons. Courage Competition was a racing team and chassis constructor company now owned by Orica, based in Le Mans near the Circuit de la Sarthe. It was founded by a French race driver who ran hill climbs before founding the company. Mazda's goal with the Furai was to eliminate the gap between race cars and road cars. But instead of converting a street legal model into a race car, they chose the more exciting approach of using an actual race car as their base. The result was an astonishing dry curb weight of just 675 kilograms. To put this in perspective, a modern 911 weighs about 1.5 tons. This lightweight gave the Furai a power-to-weight ratio nearly 3 times better than the Veyron. But that's not all. The large rear wing, aggressive splitter, body grooves, and even the underbody worked together to suck the car to the road surface, generating downforce comparable to a 2016 Formula 1 spec car. The 378 Nm of torque revved the engine up to 9,000 RPM, managed by a 6-speed semi-automatic extract transmission to handle this furious power. After engaging the clutch for first gear, subsequent gear changes were handled by paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Though gear changes doesn't quite capture it. It was more like firing a gun with those paddle shifters, accompanied by 3-foot backfires shooting from the Furai's exhaust. At low RPMs, like other rotaries, Furai sounded like a helicopter taking off, but as you accelerated, the engine's note transformed into the whine of a fighter jet. The Furai completed several test laps at Laguna Seca and Buttonwillow Raceway Park. At Laguna Seca, it was filmed and photographed by a Porsche 911 GT3, yet every time it returned to the pits for a break, it maintained a 10-second lead over the Porsche, and this was with the Furai's driver not even pushing the car hard. Thanks to its futuristic and aerodynamic body, bolstered with a front splitter, a prominent rear spoiler, and a diffuser, the concept produced massive amounts of downforce. Despite that, it maintained a low drag coefficient, which made it surprisingly fast through tight corners. According to a Top Gear magazine interview with the head designer Lawrence van den Acker, Mazda considered adapting the concept for official endurance racing, presumably eyeing an entry to the 24 Hours of Le Mans as an experimental entry. The Furai went through an extremely compressed design and production timeline, to the point where at certain stages, workers from different departments were literally climbing over each other while working on the car. The Furai project had begun in early summer of 2007. While some rumors suggest that Mazda was considering entering the Furai in Le Mans, a bitter fate ultimately awaited this remarkable machine. Before we get to the tragic part of the story, I'd like to ask you, if you have been enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button, as it would be the greatest help for me as a new YouTuber. My goal is to create the most comprehensive car videos that present the most interesting information about cars in the most engaging way possible. If you think such videos could be interesting for you, I suggest you don't forget to subscribe either. Thank you. Now let's continue with the story. Top Gear magazine had managed to borrow the Furai and scheduled a photoshoot session just a short while before even the Stick had driven the Furai. The car also made an appearance on the show's stage.
Unfortunately, the job of naming it was given to someone from Birmingham, so it's ended up being called the Furai.
Only 4 minutes into the session, while the car was turning around at the end of the 1.3-mile runway, the crew noticed a change in the car's sound. The melodious rotary scream had now turned into something resembling the groans of a wounded elephant. The tracking photographer's car spotted flames emerging from the engine bay and immediately alerted the Furai's driver, Mark Ticehurst, who pulled over in no time. As you probably know, rotary engines, despite all their appeal, come with their own complexities and challenges. For instance, because they can operate at higher RPMs, more combustion cycles occur, making the heat management more difficult. Due to the engine's unique design, there are also more moving parts in contact with each other, requiring extensive lubrication to overcome the friction between moving parts. The Furai's design helped it to receive more airflow at higher speeds, but conversely, during turns or at the end of straights, less air reached the engine bay. Additionally, remember that ethanol fuel is far more volatile than gasoline. While the exact cause of the fire was never determined, some rumors suggest the cooling fan may have contacted wiring, causing a spark, but nevertheless, all the contributing factors for disaster were already in place. The road's cruel curve blocked firefighters' view of the blazing Furai. This caused our legend to burn for 8 full minutes until the fire team arrived, leaving nothing but a rear wing and charred skeleton of what was once a beautiful masterpiece. Ironically, the photographer wanted to capture Furai's backfires on downshifts. I think he got more than he asked for. Mazda immediately transported the Furai's remains back to their design studio in California. From that day forward, no one knows what fate befell the car's remnants. This incident remained under media blackout for 5 years, until finally in 2013, Mazda allowed Top Gear magazine to publicize the tragedy. Mazda said that the Furai would only be used as a rolling testbed for design and aerodynamic alterations, but for the people, the Furai meant much more than that. The accident that happened to the Furai sparked massive reaction across the internet. The Furai became immortalized in many people's memories through its appearance in Forza Motorsport 4 and Gran Turismo 5 and 6. Well, talking about racing games, it's true that each one of them has their own issues these days. One lacks many features and had a rough launch. This one's map has made everyone bored to death. This one is extremely grindy, and this one fails to deliver exciting updates that the community wants. But I think now is the time we should appreciate racing games despite their flaws and shortcomings. Licensing and high-quality modeling of cars is an extremely costly and time-consuming process. Now imagine how much more difficult this process would be for a concept car which only existed as a prototype and has been lost for years. And honestly, we should count ourselves lucky that we can still hear the Furai's howl and take it for a spin, even if it's just pixels and polygons in the newest Forza Motorsport. The Furai was a rock star with a wild scream and a brilliant performance. I think our world wasn't enough for it and it left us too soon. These days, Mazda uses rotary engines as range extenders in their EVs, and the chance of seeing another high-performance rotary like the one in the Furai are slim, which makes us miss it even more. Just think, it's been almost 17 years since the Furai was unveiled, and even now, whether stationary or in motion, it still looks breathtaking and futuristic. Maybe the Furai isn't physically with us anymore, but like any legend, it's still alive in the hearts of enthusiasts. Many consider the Furai the spiritual successor to the legendary 787B. I think watching just a few seconds of onboard footage of the Furai tearing up Buttonwillow Raceway will make that more clear.